It's WICE's Community Close-Up, our weekly public affairs program we produce in partnership with the Rapidian, our hyper-local news service here at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center. Community Close-Up brings you a diverse perspective from community leaders and organizations throughout our West Michigan community. This is WICE Station Manager Phil Tower in studio with Bill Kirk, Director of Communications from Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc., DGRI, as you hear them frequently on WICE, one of our great community partners. Bill is in studio here as we welcome a brand new year, soon to be a full week in West Michigan, and the kickoff of the 7th annual World of Winter Festival.
Yeah,
Where did 7 years ago, Bill Kirk?
Yeah, well, it was funny. I was digging through the files because the last couple of years we've struggled with like which year is it? Is it the 6th, 7th, whatever? So
the COVID year.
Yeah, right. Everybody loses track. But this is the 7th annual when we look at it from the perspective of it being at least a month long. But there were World of Winter events dating back to 2018, but they were like a weekend or a few days. But yes, so this is our 7th annual full festival, 2 months. We're really excited to be kicking it off next week, and should be an incredible amount of fun.
It's a massive activation, and that's a buzzword you've heard over the last several years, but a massive activation and transformation of outdoor spaces in and around downtown Grand Rapids. Just really amazing. A visual feast. Part outdoor art gallery, part all ages playground, which I love, part outdoor theater. And really, I think, Bill, the spirit of this, when you all concocted this in your mad laboratory at DGRI,
mad science,
was to encourage people really just get out of their house, because there are a lot of people who may not be winter sports people like me, but I do love being outside. It's great to be outside. It's great. I've been in downtown Grand Rapids more than half my life, working, spending a lot of time down here. I love downtown Grand Rapids, and it's an invitation to celebrate what our city can do in the middle of the wintertime, right?
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, years back before we really launched the festival in its full form, we'd get feedback from some of our stakeholders. Some of the stuff in some of our master plans was always about figuring out ways to activate that event calendar year round. Exactly like you said, leaning into the wintertime in Michigan. I think we all, I've been here most of my life as well. And, we all think of January and February typically as the doldrums and the dark months and all that sort of stuff, which is not untrue from a weather perspective, but that doesn't mean that we can't lighten it up a little bit with a festival like World of Winter. So that's, the whole goal is really to just give people, visitors, residents, people working downtown, give them a reason to come downtown, to stay outside, to enjoy the winter, embrace the winter. And we think, by putting up, as you mentioned, some pretty visually stunning art, hosting a bunch of great events, we think it's a good reason to do it. And we're really grateful with the way the community's embraced it. Year over year, we see people getting braver. We see people staying out longer. We see people being kind of experts in the gear they're wearing, So it's just been really a joy for us and an honor for us to put the festival on. But we're really pumped for this year. It's going to be incredible.
And it is for all ages. Some of the crowd favorites are back, like Icebreaker, which is a crowdsourced public vote of a giant live carved ice sculpture, which is a really cool thing. Paint the Park, Human Hungry Hippo Tournament, which I'll come back to that. Snoga, which is yoga in the snow. Silent Disco, which is, of course, is very popular. Love on Ice. I better come back to that. Circus Wonderland. The Great Lakes The Great Lakes, the guy on the radio should be able to say this. The Great Lakes Snow Snake Competition, ice piano performances, Winners of Drag, and Noodle Fest. And you're also doing some new things this year. Food trucks every Friday at a big live activation space, 555 Monroe. A walking tour, 40-plus downtown window displays. Interactive artist talk with the creators behind Emergence, a recurring projection show on the Civic Auditorium façade, a Luminary bike ride. And you were just showing me this in the studio, and this is radio, so we'll try to describe this. A projection drumming experience. You're going to want to mark your calendar for this. Brett Bolten is this drummer who mixes video with some unbelievable technology and projects his show while drumming on the side of the arena.
Yeah.
This is wild. Let's talk about that for a moment, and then we'll highlight some of the other things I mentioned. Talk about this projection drumming performance. I've never heard of this, but of course you guys would think this up in your mad scientist laboratory at DGRI in World of Winter.
Well, we probably can't claim original, copyright or intellectual property on the projection drumming, but yeah, this is a really cool. This is a combination, I think, of some of the stuff that makes World of Winter great, which is obviously visual art. And some incredible music. So we have our great events calendar, we have the great art, and putting them together for an event like this is extremely exciting, and bringing it to a new spot downtown as well. So this is going to be in the alley next to the Van Andel, on the east side of the Van Andel there.
Right.
And so this guy, Brett Bolten, you talk about a mad scientist. This dude is incredible. So he plays the drums. He's got like a touchpad sort of. It is one of those sort of DJ touchpads where it's actually making sound and making music, but the pad also controls the projection that's going to be going up on the side of the arena. So he can put different images in there. He can put different, whatever he wants to project. And so he will get the projection going with some essentially music visual touchpad action, and then he will play the drums, which will also affect the visual projection as well. So it's a real feast for the eyes. He's done some work for some pretty major artists. He was doing some work on Billie Eilish's tour not too long ago, and it's one of those things where you just we've been watching some videos of this online, and you start to realize you're like, this is the future of music happening in front of our eyes. And it's just a really cool combo of audio and visual, and obviously a really cool addition to World of Winter. So we're really pumped about it.
As we're talking about these things that make up the largest free winter festival in the country, worldofwintergr.com is the website. Let me give that to you again, worldofwintergr.com. It's January 9th all the way through March 1st, and you want to check it out because you will have a calendar of events on there when you can see the Brett Bolten projection drumming performance, and so many of these things, the majority of them, I think, Bill, for World of Winter are free, right?
Yes, yeah. So the whole festival is free of charge. There are a couple little exceptions. I mean, you can go to every event for free, but if you want to participate in the Human Hungry Hippo tournament, you got to register and pay to enter a team. Noodle Fest is one that you can go to and just take it all in. But if you want to eat some noodles, you got to buy your noodles. And then of course, like anytime there's the food trucks out and stuff like that, there you got to purchase it. But in general, all of these events are free. The music events are free. The walking tours are free. So yeah, we want to, one of our goals is to make this festival as accessible as possible, and so it being free of charge is a big part of that.
A lot of these will take place at 555 Monroe.
Yeah.
What are some of the other hot spots downtown people should know about?
Yeah, so we try to keep it pretty centralized while also taking advantage of all the cool little nooks and crannies downtown. So 6th Street Park is going to have some great installations and some good events and activations in it. Obviously, 555 Monroe, as we've been talking about, will be lit up and activated. Anabawan Park is always a hot spot for World of Winter. We have multiple installations there, as well as multiple events there. We like to light up our already lit bridges. So the Gillette Bridge and the Blue Bridge will have installations on them as well. Lion Square, just on the eastern edge of the Gillette Bridge there, right between the Amway and the DeVos Convention Center, will have installations and activations. Rosa Parks Circle, all the way down to Studio Park as well. So yeah, we try to spread it out, but also make it walkable, or you can hop on the Dash Bus and check it all out. But basically the signature parks and public spaces of downtown, we really try to bring some life to those.
Yeah, you can learn more at worldofwintergr.com. Real quickly, clue us in on the Love on Ice, and then you mentioned the Human Hungry Hippo tournament. Yeah. We'll start with that. What is that all about?
Yeah, so it's what it sounds like.
Okay.
If you are, of our age group-ish, shall we say, you will remember the Hungry Hungry Hippos board game.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Where, you get a hippo and you got to try to eat all the balls that go out into the middle of the board. So this is one of our oldest events. We were doing this before World of Winter as like a one-off way back in the day. But you enter a team. You have a team of other human hippos, as it were, and essentially we turn Rosa Parks Circle Ice Rink into the board for the board game.
I love it.
So this involves you and your team will have an inner tube that is attached to a rope, and you put one of your team members on the tube and you push them out into the middle of the ice where there are a bunch of like, if you remember like a Chuck E. Cheese ball pit, that kind of thing. There's a bunch of balls out in the middle of the ice. Everybody's got, the human hippos have a laundry basket, and your team just shoves you out. You try to grab a bunch of the balls, brings it back, and then you total it up that way, keep score that way. Yeah. There's different age groups and stuff like that. And so if you're feeling like you want to participate, it's super fun. I've done it. It's been a few years. It's very, very fun. It is also one of the funniest events to just be a spectator at, because watching people fly across the ice as human hungry hippos is pretty funny. We're talking about the World of Winter coming up January 9th through March 1st, just a few days away. You can learn more at worldofwintergr.com, worldofwintergr.com, the largest free winter festival right here in our backyard in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Bill Kirk is with us, Director of Communications with Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. A couple of quick things to touch on. Things going on all the time. Weekends are the best time to visit, ideally. Yeah, so I mean, all the art installations are out for basically the entire festival, and there's walking tours on some of the weekdays. If you check our event calendar, you can grab a walking tour on some of the weekdays. The events are pretty stacked on the weekends for sure. Yeah, it's a good way to get out on the weekends. But if you got a day off, or you're just want to go wander around downtown, weekdays or weeknights are great too. A lot of our art installations are interactive, audio-visual. A lot of them are light-based, so some of them are a little better to see at night, but they all look really cool no matter when you go down. And all that info is on the website. You can look at each art installation, learn a little bit about it, and then it'll have a couple little tags on there, like if it's a local artist or an international artist, or if it's good to see at night or whatever. But yeah, so really anytime. But like you said, Phil, the events are generally stacked on the weekends. And worldofwintergr.com, you want to check the festival schedule frequently. Weather is unpredictable in West Michigan. We've already learned that. Yep. We are in the first weekend of January having this conversation. If we have a thaw in early February, what happens if maybe not so much snow, or it's raining, or in another extreme, we've got a winter storm warning and we're going to get piled with snow? What's the best way for people to stay in the know regarding all the weather changes? Yeah, so obviously we all know Michigan weather can change quickly, so we always will keep the World of Winter website updated. We will keep our Facebook, all of our social media channels. So all of our channels are at Downtown GR Inc. We do also have a dedicated World of Winter Instagram, so World of Winter GR on Instagram. We'll update all those any days that the weather's looking a little sketchy, or we might have to postpone an event. In the past, we have had to postpone events, or we've had to take some of our inflatable installations down due to like high winds or like freezing rain or whatever. It's Michigan, man. It's a thing. Yeah, right? Absolutely. But yeah, if you just our social media channels and our website, our World of Winter website, we will keep very updated so that you can make sure to know if an event's on or not. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned socials. Yeah. Our listeners definitely want to make sure they're following World of Winter on Instagram. Follow at DGRI on Facebook, wherever else you are being social. worldofwintergr.com. It's a great way to stay plugged in. I've got about a minute left. Anything else I didn't ask you wanted to share? I would just say, I would reiterate that we are very grateful that we get to even do this festival. It's a ton of work for our team, especially our events and activation team. So kudos to them for being outside for 2 months straight and keeping the festival running. But all that said, we're just really glad that we get to do it. It's a real joy. It's a lot of fun. And if you've never been, you got to come check it out. Pick an event, pick multiple events, come downtown. see this stuff. And if you've been before, you know the deal. We have new art every year. We introduce some new events every year. We keep the favorites around. But yeah, just check out worldofwintergr.com like we've been talking about for all of this information.
Yeah.
And, you know, bundle up, come outside. And I think we all deserve a little fun, a little connection, a little community in those cold months, especially after a year like we've had. So we just hope to see everybody out there. And we're really grateful to be talking to you and spreading the word.
Yeah, and you can hear Bill give us weekly updates on WICE every Thursday morning. Make sure you are tuning in Thursday morning between 7 and 9. He'll give you a live update. He'll tell you what's coming up that coming weekend, and make sure you tune back in on Thursday morning for Bill's weekly segment. Yeah, he's so good we have to put him on every week. What can I say?
Well, I get you let me talk to the consummate pro, Smitty, man.
Yeah.
He makes it easy, man.
He does make it easy.
I love that dude.
We'll give him a shout out as well every Thursday morning, 7 and 9 on WICE. Bill Kirk is Director of Communications with Downtown Grand Rapids Inc., DGRI. And again, everything you need to know about World of Winter, the largest free winter festival in the country, is at worldofwintergr.com. Thank you, my friend.
Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate you having me.
He has been our guest on this segment of WYCE's Community Close-Up. Thank you so much for tuning in. We produce this program in partnership with the Rapidian, our hyperlocal news service at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center. We'll see you next week right here on WYCE.